Hey, Dom. Oh,
Oh, hi.
right. How's things been for you?
Good, yeah. I'm in New York at the moment, so it's 8 a.m. Um, so yeah, I'm able to join this meeting, which I can't. Well, I don't think I've done a Saturday one before.
Right.
Um,
Oh, good to see you. Yeah.
yeah.
So you're working there?
No, just visiting. Got a godson here. He's kind of like more like a son,
Mm-hmm.
um, and some friends as well. So just staying with friends.
Oh,
Um,
good stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's been good. I'm just you know, pottering along, kind of uh, not feeling like I'm not doing much formal practice at the moment. I'm kind of, I'm reading your things in the morning. That my morning routine is I sit and I read the story and I just sit for a bit. I'm not like with any great sort of objective or like
Yep. Good stuff. Yeah.
uh, kind of technique or anything.
Mm.
Um, and then yeah, I've just been going through the days, um, noticing when that urge to sort of fix things pops up. Um, it's sort of, yeah, there's this sort of there's a bit of monitoring going on where I'm kind of like, because I feel like something shifted a little bit a few weeks ago and things kind of got a bit easier, with sort of less anxiety and kind of um, just an ease, a feeling of more ease, I suppose, and more sort of spontaneity and bit of, that sort of thing. And things not sticking so much.
Mm.
But I can see that my mind is kind of looking around, going, "Is it still? Is this still the same, or is it? You know what I mean? There's that sort of
Yeah.
thing of
Yeah.
like, am I
Mm.
going to slip back into my old sort of uh, ways, or and it's not like I don't get like my brother. I've got a brother. He's actually a half brother, but we're very close, the siblings, and he's getting married. He's he's getting married. He's got a lot of. He's his second marriage, and he's right, he's well off and everything, and he's having a big wedding and a second sort of day after of like a little mini festival to celebrate. But he's doing a registry office. The registry office part is happening 2 weeks earlier, and he messaged me this morning and just said, "Oh, do you mind bringing a camera and taking some pictures? Because I'm going to get iPhone pictures, but I want some nice pictures." And I've just noticed there's a bit of disturbance there about like, trying to manage, feeling a bit weird about having the responsibility of being an official photographer, but kind of thinking about how can I say no, or can I say, well, I'll do it, but I won't be the official photographer, and just I can feel a little bit of um, well, I'm just trying to manage what
Yeah.
he's going to think of me and things like that, I suppose.
Yeah. So is it obvious to you that there's a story going on in the background about that you're trying to kind of cover your ass for?
The Am I trying to? Do you mean is it obvious that I'm trying to cover my ass, or the
Yeah.
obvious
Yeah.
what the
Is it
story?
obvious to you that you're saying I don't want to be your official, right?
Yes,
That's obviously this question of will I be able to do it to your standard or how you want or whatever, So you're just kind of covering yourself with that thing. Yeah.
yeah, and it's also a sort of feeling of like, um, I don't necessarily want to be kind of working on that day. You know what I mean? It's a sort of as a guest. I don't want to be. I don't
Yeah.
want to respond. You know, it will be. I won't be able to relax and enjoy it because I'll be trying to worry that I'm getting the right shots or whatever.
Mm.
Um, which is a bit of a different role.
Right. So
Um,
you've been dragged out of your comfort zone somewhere with this.
yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's mild to say, but it just,
Yeah.
it's there because
Yeah.
it happened this morning. But
But listen, this
um,
is this is interesting stuff and good stuff, you know. So as you were talking earlier, the story turned up here that it sounds weird to say it, but I thought what I want for you is, all right, so which is, so forget that. That's just the way of putting it, but it is what I want, but it's beside the point, right? What I want, what I, the story that I like is that this is normal stuff. There's nothing special about this stuff, right? There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad in it. What there is just what happens, just what turns up, right? And obviously, situations will occur that take us close to our boundaries or close to our outside of our comfort level. We will still get triggered. None of this means anything about waking up or not waking up. Forget about
yeah,
So you're at the
yeah,
point where you can totally forget about this idea of waking up. What we're
yeah,
looking to do is make use of what comes up, and otherwise, it's kind of weird to say, otherwise, what? Well, if I describe what happens to me during the day when I'm not here focusing on this stuff, or if I'm not doing stories and songs and focusing on this stuff, is I kind of disappear. Is the best way I can describe it. It's kind of weird, but
mm,
it's like
mm,
like
yeah,
there is just what's happening, and
yeah,
if I was to bring my attention to what is happening, then of course I can create a story about it happening to me or me being
mm,
involved in it. But
mm,
essentially, the spontaneous experience is that it's just whatever is happening.
yeah,
So for example, I cooked tea tonight, right? And my son came and I cooked some steak and I made some mushroom sauce and put some potatoes in the air fryer. And but at no point was I aware of me doing it. It
mm,
was all just happenings that was going on.
yeah. There was no story of you accompanying it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right. And there was never a question of did I do it right? Did I cook the steak enough or too much or not enough or whatever, anything like that. The piece that I had was yummy. And when asked, my son said it was good. So,
Yeah,
I wouldn't bother to question it any further than that. Um, so all I'm saying is, like I sat and watched TV with my wife and we discussed this and that and so on, but they were all just happenings. There
mm,
wasn't there wasn't any am I okay? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I good? Am I
mm,
bad? Any
mm,
none of that stuff happened.
yeah,
But it does come up from time to time. And when
mm,
it comes up, I go, oh, this is interesting. Something's triggered. Something's been triggered. So it's an opportunity. So essentially,
yeah,
there is no pat on the back for being awake or not getting triggered or anything like that.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is very normal, everyday
yeah,
occurrence kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remembered your thing about like, oh, being sort of, and I recognize it from before, and I've thought about it in the past with that idea of like it's it's oh look, here's something interesting to sort of look at, and obviously family stuff is
Yeah,
especially when there's extended family and
yeah,
all kinds of old stuff, old stories around that,
yep, yep. Well, families are great in that they are probably the most prominent triggerers of stuff. Family of origin, bound to trigger stuff. Can't help it.
Yeah, yeah,
Ram Dass once said, "If you think you're so enlightened, go spend a weekend with your parents." Yeah,
yeah, right, yeah,
which is great. Yeah, it happens. And my wife's my best triggerer. She can press my buttons more than anybody else can. Quite easily. Um, so yeah, it's like and so on. So, but a lot of it is stuff that's kind of lies dormant because it doesn't get triggered that often. And so when
yeah,
it does get triggered, it's a celebration. It's a good one. When it happens because it gives us something else to clean out, so to speak. So
mm,
it's not like we don't want them to happen, and we definitely don't want to use them to measure where we're up to. Because there
yeah,
is no there is no there's no scale that we can measure against. It all just becomes totally irrelevant whether we're whatever. But if we're still seeking, that's interesting. That tells us that there's still something to be worked on. So you get to a point where you're not seeking specifically. You're open to discover what turns up, but you're not in your the moments when you're not busy with that. You're not going, "Oh, should I be meditating, or should I be, or
mm,
shouldn't this
mm,
this shouldn't be whatever." You're not even into
yeah.
that. Yeah,
I mean, that's still happening, but it's like a much smaller level. That
yeah,
sort of seeking energy seems to have dropped down quite a bit.
yeah, yeah. Well, what I would
Um,
what I would love to see is when you discover that there's some seeking going on, that moment of discovery, you just break out laughing. You just
mm,
see it as the it's crazy when it happens. Yeah. See, I don't know if you've heard this one, but stand-up comedians have there's a technique that they use, and what it is that they tell you stories that take you down a particular path, and then all of a sudden they'll turn it 90 degrees and give you something surprising, something not on that path, and it's that discovery that provokes a sense of humor that gets us laughing. So it's
mm,
really interesting that when we discover stuff, often our spontaneous response to that is to laugh. So it's a
yeah,
good indicator that we're on the right track when we're laughing at things. Yeah,
mm. Yeah. I do feel that there's more lightness at the moment. Yeah,
yeah. Well, it's a good indicator that there's something to work on if we find ourselves taking things seriously.
yeah. I mean, that's me all over for forever, But it's yeah,
Yeah, so it's
shifting.
that's interesting as well. Like, okay, so you can say, well, if you're, let's say, quote quote, a serious person, right? That's your personality. That might well continue, but there will be a lightness in the seriousness.
Mm, mm,
I know it sounds a bit contradictory, but yeah, you will find that you'll still appear serious, but you won't feel serious.
yeah,
Yeah, we're taught that serious is a good thing, and and frivolous is not. You can even get the term frivolous. That's
Yeah.
a not responsible kind of way to be, and so
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's all these contradictions, of course, in society, and we've got to be serious, and yet society will even accept that it's good to be childlike, to have a playful attitude, but at the same time, you've got to be serious. It's interesting, we get confronted with these paradoxes uh, when we start looking at this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed that not so much at the moment, but there's this sort of idea that there used to be this sort of sense that like it's okay to be silly, but not right now. There's this thing to deal with that once that's sorted, then we
Yes.
can
Yeah.
relax and be fun and have fun. But of course, that never we get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay at a party or you know on
Yeah,
Christmas
no, and
Day or mm,
that's why booze was such a big one for me. It was like
mm,
it's the shortcut. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you can see that being serious is very definitely a case of how I want you to see me, how I want others to see me. If I'm serious, uh, I can be intense. I can be serious. It means I'm responsible. It means I'm dedicated. It's a whole lot of good things about me come from being seen as
I think,
serious.
yeah, I mean, I think the seriousness I mean, like I say, I don't feel like it's quite as prominent maybe as it was, but for me, it was like this sense of responsibility was definitely strong. And I'm not sure if I felt serious was a good label. I would have thought maybe that I would have rather not been so serious. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Um, and I noticed it. I've noticed it in like rule obeying rules and like getting annoyed with people who don't follow the rules and things like that. Like that's sort of because I mean I've always been in a creative industry and it's very sort of free and people aren't supposed to follow the rules and yeah I've got this kind of thing like punctuality and kind of sort of like whatever just finding noticing that I don't like it when people
mm,
and not particularly liking that about myself. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of
mm.
those layers of whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. I mean, you know, I don't like being late for an appointment. I always try and get there a couple of minutes early, kind of thing. And my wife always says, it's too early. So she always wants us to be, kind of a little bit late, just a little bit. That annoys me. Yeah, but I put up with it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but it fits with third better stuff, rites and rituals. That
Yeah,
that being obeying the rules, not going outside the rules.
I think it's something to do with kind of wanting not liking chaos, not liking the feeling of chaos or something.
Mm.
Or that I mean, it's not that necessarily that world would become more chaotic, but there's a sense of wanting things to be in order or something.
Yeah, that takes us very close to the idea of needing to be in control.
Yeah, and I'm a real planner. You know,
Mm. And I don't see anything wrong with planning either. But do you have a negative emotional response if things don't go according to the plan?
I think like it's noticeable while I'm here. I'm with this friend, and she's her personality is total opposite to mine. She's very sort of, spontaneous and kind of a bit chaotic. And like we're walking down the road to go to shops, that we're going to go for some food shopping, and she's kind of we're chatting, and she's forgotten where we're going, and I have to keep saying, do you know where you're going? She's like, oh, yeah, it's over there, and then you know what I mean, and it's like,
Mm.
and she hasn't necessarily got I'm like, oh, what should we plan what we're doing this afternoon, or while I'm here in New York, shall I, and I'm putting in my little plans and things in my sort of, and she's just kind of seeing where the day takes her, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I can
yeah.
see that sometimes I'm like, there's this pull to sort of like want everyone to be like on the same page, like, are we all doing this? So, what are we doing later, sort of thing.
Mm.
It's not.
So, so if you make a plan for something, how easy can you, how flexible are you when it comes to something that interrupts that? Can you drop it and move on with
It
something else?
depends. It depends on the sort of size of it. Like out here, it would be fine. Like if we're gonna go to the movies. No, let's not do that. Let's do something else. Or we went to an exhibition that I thought we should go and see, and we went to the place and just didn't like the look of it, so we didn't bother, and that stuff. But I remember like a week before I came out, I planned to do something at home on a Saturday night, and my wife, who had agreed to that she was we'd spoken about it, and then on the Friday she mentioned that she'd invited some people to dinner to have food at our place on the Saturday night, and that really sort of threw me out, because it was quite a thing that I'd sort of set my mind on, and I was planning for a little bit. I hadn't done anything in particular to get ready, but it was definitely set in my mind, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know
But so you had to
that
adjust pretty quickly.
yeah, that was like took it was frosty between us, and it took 2 or 3 hours really before we're going to settle back down again.
Mm. So is your response to get angry about that, or you just go withdraw? How would you, what was that? How
Yeah,
did you
definitely
express that frostiness?
irritation. It came as that anxiety initially. So first of all, it's like what happens is like there's two conflicting kind of forces in my mind. It's like, oh, I want to do this thing, but she's invited. So can I tell her to or rearrange what she's doing? But that would be a lot to ask. But then I don't want to let go of this thing. And then that kind of, you know, that will start kick off anxiety, and I want it to be resolved. And also that will be irritation as well. Like, and so I might be short or irritable with her, or I might message her in a less kind sort of way or whatever. It won't be like full on anger for something that
Mm.
size, but it would be definitely be frustration. Um,
And then what you find you move into a place of acceptance, or do you
yeah, I
take
mean, funny.
charge and rearrange things?
What I did in that case, I asked her a couple of questions like, can you can you go out somewhere instead or whatever, and just and then she was like, no, I can't change it now. So I just said, give me a bit of time, sort of thing, and I just kind of decided I wasn't going to try and do anything to fix it. So I just went for a walk with the dog. Tried not to, but just didn't. Just noticing when my mind was trying to
Mm.
sort it out, and I let it sort of um, just deal with itself as best I could.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
texted me and said, "Oh, I've made a mistake, and I'm going to go to theirs instead," and all of that. But even though she offered that, which was nice, in the end, I just felt like it was fine. I just didn't have to do the thing that I was going to do, and it was fine.
yeah.
It wasn't as big a deal as I thought.
So when you went for the walk with the dog, did you know that it it would dissipate in you over that during the walk or over that period? Did you know that within a certain period of time it would be an okay thing?
I felt like the chances are that it would have blown over quite a bit, probably after going for a walk for an hour or something.
Mm,
But I didn't know that it would resolve itself. I couldn't be sure of that. No,
mm,
it was just like, let's just leave it and kind of get a walk and do me good, and that's that.
mm,
It wasn't sort of. I wasn't like, oh, this is definitely going to be resolved by the end of the walk. But I didn't know how I was going to feel about it.
mm,
Um, but it just kind of fell away, and it was like it became obvious that it wasn't really a big deal. And these guys ended up coming over, and we had a really nice night and everything. So
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. So what occurs to me is that well, what would happen here, and this is just a story I'm imagining, that what would happen here is that when the change of plans was announced to me, when my expectations were going to be thwarted and my wife had arranged something else, that I would go, oh, okay, life has taken a turn. I'll just move in that direction now. I'll just go with whatever is there. I wouldn't resist it as such. Um, but on the other hand, if it was something that was going to say interfere with one of these meetings, I would have a much stronger. I would take charge and I would say, no, it's not going to happen. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So it's a
mm.
it's a different kind of thing. But if it was, yeah. So there's kind of a couple of things in that, like at what if it's just a switch in something along the lines of casual plans got pushed aside for other casual plans, it would be I could go with that fairly easily. But if it was something I felt
Yeah.
strongly about, I
Well, it
would,
was
yeah,
what it was without it. Well, I was going to do like a mushroom ceremony, which I do like once a month at the house. So it's like and I prepare and I get music and and it for me it's part of my sort of
yeah, yeah,
practice and I wanted to do some. I kind of think of it as clearing out a bit before I went on my trip and everything. So it was a bit more than just like going to a movie or something, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, got it. Yeah, so it was, yeah, and presumably with something like that, the opportunity to do it isn't something you could do at any moment. You would do it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to plan it a bit and
Mm,
have the next day free and things like that. Um,
yeah.
so that was the kind
And
of level it was at.
yeah, 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 I get it. So it was something that was relatively important to you. Did you find another time to do that, or did
No,
you
because
have it?
I was traveling on the early the
Right,
following week.
right.
Yeah, so that's why it made it. That's why it was more heightened in importance. 'Cause it was like I
Mm,
was like I was going to do it before I went away, and then so then stories all came up about, oh, that means I'm not going to be ready for my trip or something, and which aren't, of course,
yeah,
that wasn't
yeah,
true. I had to let go of those sort of tangly stories,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
and also the idea that that I have to do it on a certain regular basis or not or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's all interesting stuff too, isn't it? Yeah. And how dependent are you on doing that to stay in a good place and so on? Yeah. So one might say that life interfered, thus giving you the opportunity to experience life without that. And
Yeah,
is
exactly.
are things still
Yeah.
going to be good for you, or what? You know?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And I realized by the end of the walk or by the end of a bit later in the evening or whatever that I just was fine. The idea of going and not, and it was just like, it just stopped being a problem.
Mm, mm,
Um, yeah.
mm. Yeah. Well, it all sounds pretty good to me. What's happening for you? Yeah. We can look forward to things turning up for you to work on, quote quote, work on, not work on,
Yeah.
just look
Yeah.
at
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. But yeah.
Well, I mean, coming in in this conversation, it's funny, like the brother thing with my brother and the photos. It's sort of, I sort of feel like an answer's kind of come a little bit there, which is about sort of because my instinct is to say yes, and I think that's and to be generous, but I think I could say yes to a limited
Mm,
offer. You know what I mean? And just make it clear that I'm not, and that seems to be like an easy way through.
yeah. Yeah. It's an
That
interesting
makes
one
sense.
because when you first mentioned that, I thought to myself, depending on the model of the iPhone, the bloody iPhone pictures are pretty good these days. I mean, what have you got?
Yeah,
A how many megapixel camera? It's probably not better than the iPhone. Chances are, if it's a year or two old, they're bloody good these days. But
it's
anyway,
true.
yeah, yeah. But so a lot of it is for you to just be to say to him quite clearly what it is that you want to do. Yeah, yeah, you're happy to do that, but you also want to enjoy the
Yeah,
ceremony and not be a worker as such. You don't want to be wearing your overalls or your whatever.
that's it.
Yeah,
And also not to have the responsibility just so of if they definitely want a certain type of picture and whatnot, then that's probably not that's probably I'm not the best guy for it.
yeah, 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 yeah. And a lot of those kind of things. There's a couple of things that they want. They want the picture in, when the confetti's been thrown or when they're coming down the front
That's
steps
it.
or whatever,
Yeah,
yeah. And apart from that, yeah, well, look, and the other thing, of course, is to be quite clear that no matter what, you'll do your best.
yeah, right.
You're
Mm,
never, you're never going to go up there and intentionally do your worst, are you?
mm.
Yeah. And if you're not happy with what I do, well, fuck you. I can't do anything about that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's their risk.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, it's an emotional day for some people, particularly emotional. So yeah, and you can never please all the people all the time. So you do your
Yeah,
best.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting how you can want to do that, but you can also want to not do it at the same time, or you
That's
and
right.
want to not want certain responsibilities or certain things. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Thanks, Don. That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm. How have you been, Gail?
Good morning over from here. I've been doing good, really good. Is that sound still occurring right now?
It's still a bit funny. Yeah.
Oh, I think I have a clunky computer.
Yeah, it could be
I'm
just the
sure everything
computer.
was
Yeah.
silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get a new one then. But yeah, things have been pretty good. Was really busy at work yesterday, and I was keeping up with everything, so it felt really good. And one girl said everything was so hard she wanted to quit. and I gave her a lot of encouragement, and it was just a great day. It was really wonderful. And I really appreciate the advice that I got from you on that administrative assistance day gift. It was a really enlightening conversation, and yeah, it meant a lot. It really helped me carry through, like move forward and see more clearly the situation than the way I was looking at it. So, yeah,
Mm. Good one. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if you remember that. I know you talked to a lot of people.
Mm.
How have you been?
I'm good.
Good, good.
Mm.
What time is it where you are right now?
Say again.
What time is it where you are right now?
It's 10:35 p.m. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just having my morning coffee.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So what pops up for me is the ability to explore different perspectives that come along with being relaxed. Just more possibilities show up.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes,
the old way was very focused and very narrow in possibilities. Yeah.
100%. You nailed it. Yes, I see that. That's very true. When I was upset, I was very, very narrow-minded. I could only see one thing, just one thing. And now that I'm not, on the edge of tears, which I was, yeah, I could just see so many other possibilities and truths. Like,
Mm, mm,
like what you said about it could have been even somebody else decided on what the gift was going to be. I couldn't see that until after I talked to you,
mm.
and then I was like, yeah, it could have just been something as simple as that, and
Yep.
that it wasn't a reflection of the work that I do.
Yeah. And you could even go like one step further than that would be to say, I don't know. And I don't need to know. It's just a mystery that I'm happy to live with for what is actually going on.
Yeah, and even that it's not a reflection of the work that I do.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah, see, I couldn't see that when my expectation was to get the same gift that I got the past 2 years, but then I saw that it doesn't even matter. But I
Mm,
didn't see that at the time. But now it doesn't matter. I know how good I am, and I know how hard I work, and I know how good I am at what I do, and I don't
yeah, yeah,
need
yeah.
anyone else to confirm that for me.
Excellent, excellent. So if somebody
Yeah,
come up and said you do terrible work, could you see it as that's their opinion and it really doesn't reflect anything on you, unless there is something wrong, but essentially if it was just their opinion, you wouldn't need to defend anything, you wouldn't need to correct them, you wouldn't need to change their mind about it. You could just be rather amused that they have that particular opinion about it, eh?
yeah, and that they're just ignorant, and I mean that literally. They
Hmm.
just don't have any idea about the quality of work
Yeah.
that I do and the experience that I have and the wisdom that I've gained over the years doing what I do.
Hmm.
And no gift card can really summarize all of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing that a couple days ago.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you
Give
get
you
that
confidence,
that
eh?
do you get that the other people's opinion of you, not even your work, but of you as a person, has no bearing on how you actually are. It is just somebody else's opinion of you. Do you get that? Can you see that
Yeah,
that's the case? Yeah.
yeah.
So, and
Because for a
their
while,
opinion is going to be shaped. Their opinion is going to be shaped by their view of life, by their experience, by their conditions, by their upbringing, by all sorts of things that are going to shape their opinion of you, right?
yeah,
Now here's the big one. This is a really big one, a big shift. So you can see that one fairly clearly, eh? That their
I've
opinion of you is just their opinion. It's got no bearing on how you actually are, right?
yes,
Now, the big one is your opinion of yourself carries exactly the same weight. It's just your opinion, shaped by your conditioning, by your upbringing, by your way of looking at life. It has no bearing on how you actually are. It is just your opinion. You might imagine that it's more accurate than a stranger's opinion of you, but it probably is more accurate, but it's a long way from the way things actually are for you. It will be. It'll be shaped by your experience. It'll be shaped by your upbringing. It'll be shaped by conditions that are in your life.
that's new
But
thinking. Yeah,
yeah, it's an interesting one, that one, and it is a big one.
yeah,
Now, it kind of begs the question: well, how are you actually? If other people don't know how you are actually, and you don't know you are actually, how are you actually? We don't know. We've only got our opinions. We've only got our interpretation. So how you are actually doesn't matter. It's really not relevant for us to get involved in that because we can't know. All
exactly.
we can know is our interpretation.
When I
And that's,
first started
yeah.
this role, um, there was a girl that was gossiping a lot about everyone, and I knew that because she would gossip with me, and she would say things that no one should really repeat when somebody talks to you. And I really felt like people really got to know me through her opinion. So what I did was I was like, I'm not, and I was like the black sheep of the clan. They gossiped about me, and I even seen it in an accidental email. Like I knew that I was not appreciated, I guess I'll say. And I was really devastated by it because I'd never been, that person that nobody likes. I've usually been very popular, I guess you could say. And then I decided, let them get to know me first. Don't hate them because they hate me. They've
Mm,
never even got to know you. They've never had a conversation with you. They haven't had lunch with you. They just know you through what this girl was saying about you. And
mm.
that's what I've been working on for months. Just trying to let these people get to know who I am through. the
Yep.
gossiping, and it's really starting to work.
Yep.
Like
Yep. Yeah.
they're starting to know
That's a big one.
who
Yeah.
Gail is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what it reveals for us, though, see, we instead of, I mean, that's good stuff. What you're saying, but if we were to go the next step, we could say, of course, everybody wants to be liked. That's quite reasonable. I want to be liked. I want to be liked. I recognize it's a real thing for me that I want to be liked.
me too.
But how important is it that I'm liked? Or how important is it that I'm liked by everybody? What's going
Such a big
on that
to
it's
me.
important
Yeah,
to me? Yeah.
yeah. I'd
Now
like to
it's not
know
to say
that.
we don't want the opposite. We don't want to be not liked. That's irrelevant. But but is it does it shake you the idea that somebody doesn't like you?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, a a brilliant and beautiful experience of identification, right? Because all you know of you are stories about you. And the stories that you hold dearly are those that you're a particular kind of person who is very likable. And when somebody disturbs the possibility of that story not being right, do you respond in a defensive way? Do you have to protect the story that you've got of you that you are a likable person? Or can you shrug it off easily and say, that's just their opinion?
I think I'm
It,
like even one step backwards on that. I'm when I feel that someone doesn't like me, it hurts.
mm.
Like I feel like, oh, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not laughing at you. I'm
No,
like,
no, no. I don't think that.
yeah, that's just a good one. I mean, that reaction is good. Yeah. So this is something that we this is brilliant stuff. I mean, this gives us something to work with, doesn't it? Right, right. That the idea that there's something wrong with you. Wow, that's amazing. That one, isn't it? Where? So, have you got an idea that there's something wrong with you that you don't normally acknowledge?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so.
And so when they say something like that, that really triggers that particular one in you, doesn't it? That story you've
Yeah,
got about yourself that there's something a bit wrong with you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So if you look at that story, and we often, obviously, we would normally avoid that story, but if we were to face it and look at it, that story about there's something wrong with me, is it evil? Is it
No,
bad? Is it broken? Is it what is how would you describe what is wrong? I mean, I get that you don't normally talk about this stuff and you don't normally get it
yeah.
out into the open, but yeah. So when you think about it, what's what I want is the best thing that we can do to get at it is for you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Don't try and make it palatable. Don't try and make it okay. Just whatever comes to mind, blurt it out.
Just
What's
unlikable. Just, just
what
unlikable.
are you a bitch, are you? How can you be
No,
unlikable? Yeah.
I'm not.
You're not unlikable, okay, but yet here you go. You think that there's some part of you that's hidden that is unlikable.
Yeah.
So uh, you're if you suffer, one way you will suffer is because you will attempt to avoid facing that particular one. If it gets triggered, if somebody thinks you're unlikable, right? It's not about them and their thinking you're unlikable. It's the fact that they're thinking that they're saying something triggers that belief you've got of yourself that you're an unlikable person underneath. It's an aspect of you. It's not the complete you, is it? It's just that yeah. There's something about you that you don't like.
Or there's something about me that they didn't see, or they didn't get to know me,
Oh
or
no,
they
that
just.
that would cover up the bit that's
Oh, would it?
unlikable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If
And
they
I
got
knew
to
that
really
one.
know you, they'd love you, wouldn't they? Because you're a
Yeah.
very nice person. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that's covering up
That's
the
the
bit
cover
that
up.
where you think that that you're unlikable. And so we can focus out on them and say, well, if they got to know me, they'd like me.
Yeah.
I know that one. That's familiar. That's been part of my process too. If they got to know me, they'd really like me. Yeah. So how can they possibly not like me? I'm a likable person. Yeah. But you know that you have a belief that there's some aspect of you that is not likable. Somebody told you, maybe not with words, maybe not directly, maybe with behavior, but somebody told you that you were an unlikable person at some point in your life, way back when probably, but who knows? And you just covered that up. You tried to be
Okay.
likable after that as a way of avoiding that bit that you don't like about you.
That I don't like. Yeah.
Now, when you look at it, if you were to dig it out and hold it up in front of you and look at it, it'd be ridiculous. It'll be based on a naive child's limited perspective of life. It would very likely be parents, siblings, peers at school that said
Yeah.
to you, you're an unlikable person.
Yeah. Growing up, I was bullied a lot.
You're bullied a lot. Well, see, that's behavior that could lead you to think that you're unlikable. Why would they bully you? It's because they don't like you. So you can easily adopt this attitude that I'm unlikable because you get bullied. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And was that because you were a bit unusual, a bit strange? You didn't fit in the normal thing that they were in. I mean, these people that are usually the bullies are the good-looking ones or the super
Oh, I was
confident
gorgeous.
ones, or
Couldn't have been that. No. No, I wasn't. I was different. I was very outgoing and excited and really happy all the time. And I didn't fit in with that mean crowd. And that mean
yeah,
crowd didn't
yeah,
like me.
right. So that's it. Okay, so they didn't like you being happy and carefree and spontaneous and out there. They wanted you to be cool or something. Yeah.
Could have been something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, versions of it, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see how you can adopt, and then with the adoption of this idea there's something about me that's not likable, and then you don't ever want to go near that again. You want to avoid it.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because the bullying, there was hitting and chasing, and sometimes I would be afraid to go outside, and
Yeah,
I guess I just didn't
yeah,
want that to happen anymore. And even though nobody's hitting me anymore,
yep,
I'm still, I guess, living with
yep,
that fear of
yeah, yeah,
not being.
yeah, yeah. And how about this one? Anybody that comes across as a bully, super aggressive, maybe a level of confidence, that kind of stuff, you're instantly going to dislike them. You don't even
Yeah,
know them. You don't even know them, but if they come across as a bully, that triggers that stuff in you straight away. Hey,
yeah. And I tried, like, there was, yeah,
and bosses, of course, bosses are frequently bullies, aren't they? Not all of them, but some are.
yeah. They just, the bosses that I have, they make me feel so valuable, you know? I don't,
Mm,
I don't have that with them.
great,
But
great, yeah.
I know that the group that I worked with, it took a lot of time to let them get to know me, have, stories about me that are about me and not what they learned from somebody else.
Mm,
It's really interesting. I like that a lot.
mm,
Because I do focus a lot on people liking me. I do. And that's really interesting today to talk about this.
mm,
To know that
yeah.
I'm just trying to avoid danger, I guess you could say. I'm trying to avoid that not being like the and what comes with it, and what
Mm,
we said about possibly being bullied, and maybe more
yeah,
things I don't remember when I was a kid.
yeah, yeah. But these days, nobody's going to punch you or hurt
No,
you like they did as
no,
a kid.
right,
Yeah. And yet we still behave as if it could happen in terms of our response to certain things. Yeah.
yeah.
So do you get that from a really, really young age, maybe somewhere around 18 months or 2 years old, when you first started to understand words, that people have been telling you things about yourself, right? In the beginning, they would have said, your name is Gail. And they would have told you, Gail, you're Gail. Right? So that's kind of one of the first stories that we get about us, right? And then after that, they'll say, you like this and you don't like that, and so on and so on. So at that point, we start to collect these stories about who we are and how we are, about our likes and our dislikes, about what we look like, about the way other people see us, all sorts of things. We just collect story after story after story about ourselves. And when one of those stories gets triggered by
Mm,
circumstances or by what somebody says, we have an emotional reaction to that. And that emotional reaction validates the story. But the story also gives the emotion meaning. And so it's a bit of a circular thing. So we've got the story validates the feelings, and the feelings validate the stories. They go round and
mm.
around. Yeah. And that's all you've got. even now, all these years later, you've got a book full of stories about who you are and all of these characteristics about you. And until they get triggered, they don't really exist. But when they get triggered, the response to them gives you the illusion of a self existing.
Mm.
That's when identification kicks in. This is me. This is about me. This is my whatever. So that's identification, and that's the illusion of a self. Do you follow that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So other than that, can you find anything that you would call a self? Don't answer me now. Think about it. Think about it until we next talk,
Okay. Okay.
because I want you to look and look and look and look and look and see if you can find anything other than those stories and your response to those stories that you might call a self. That's a big one.
Yeah, I will. I'll think about that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm. How are you, Jenny?
I'm good. I was going to ask you about that today, about the whole uh, consistently. I don't know what's the constancy that's always there of the me is what you were just talking with Gail, right? Seeing the identification. Now, you know, my experience is it's always there, and it's so subtle that to watch the mechanism take show up is really hard to see. Really hard
Yes.
to see
Yeah,
because you're
because it's always there. You don't see it arrive. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And I'm wondering where um obviously there's moments throughout your day that you're not necessarily identified, but you have no idea that you're not identified, right?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Good. So I'm curious, and I know this is the identification asking. However, um, how can I catch that more often? Or how would I be able to see that? I knew you were going to laugh, smile at me. How?
Not laughing at you. I'm.
I know,
I'm.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I
Yeah.
know.
I'm excited by the question. That's why I'm laughing. Yeah. It's a good one.
Like I
Yeah.
know they happen often, and I've
Yeah.
missed it.
Yeah.
It's been missed,
All
right?
right. So let's start with this. Tell me, because it's always there, is it there when you're asleep?
I don't know. I'm just gonna answer that with a mind thought, like what I've been reading. I don't know. I guess not.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm not there to attest to that.
Right. So, in your experience, is it there when you're asleep? Do you
No,
experience it when you're asleep? No.
no,
Correct.
only in my dreams.
Yes. I'm doing some stories and songs right at the moment, actually, that are absolutely spot on with this stuff. right? Do you have you have you got a story about what reincarnation is?
Do I have a story about it? Yeah.
Yeah, what's your understanding of reincarnation? It doesn't have to be accurate, just what's your understanding. Yeah.
All the person, their um shit, look at me. Something turns into another form, but has the same essence.
Right. And the traditional story is that that happens at death,
Yeah,
and that you might come back again as a different person, but some
yeah,
part of
or
you is
chocolate.
continues. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, somehow this story arrived for me that what the Buddha was talking about with reincarnation, right? He's saying once you wake up, in the beginning, you'll be a once returner. Right? You'll come back one more time. But after that, you won't come back at all. Now, that's pretty absolute, that kind of statement. But essentially, he's saying that once you wake up, you'll have another lifetime after that, and then after that, once you've been through that lifetime, well, you won't come back at all. Right? In other words, you won't come back and suffer again. Right? So that's kind of stretching it a little bit. Right. So anyway, this story that I came up with was he wasn't talking about after you die. What he was talking about was when you go to sleep of a night, you die. And when you wake up of a morning, you have another lifetime. Right? What it is you put on the overcoat of self every morning when you wake up. And when you go to sleep of a night, when you go into deep sleep, you take off that overcoat and you're not a self anymore. And that the once returner thing is like when you have your first shift, when you first recognize that self is only a concept, that there's only an illusion of a self there, that's the once returner. But what you've still got is a nervous system attuned to the old way of being. And as that nervous system catches up with what you know, and it happens less and less that you get triggered by the old way, eventually it only happens occasionally. And that's when we get the non-returner. So that's when we don't wake up and put on the overcoat of a self
Mm,
every morning.
mm,
So we wake up and we go, ah,
mm.
it's just a lovely day. We don't wake up with, well, what have I got to do today? Yeah.
So far from that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is that there is an opportunity. It's harder of a night going to sleep to see the self dropping out because there'll be a self and then you'll be asleep, so you don't know, right?
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
much easier to see in the morning when you wake up. When you first wake up, if as a result of this conversation, the idea comes to you to watch what happens as you're waking up. And as you go from that kind of that asleep stage to that kind of semi-conscious state and through into waking up, it's kind of spread out. It's a much more prolonged area, but you're aware, you've got awareness. You're aware of what's going on to a degree, right? And if the thought comes for you to watch it, you'll see the self forming. You'll see yourself putting on the overcoat of I am Jenny.
I've heard that many times, and I've tried, but I jump right into that coat like even before my eyes open.
Right, right.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like it's like a glove. It's not leaving anytime soon.
Mm,
As it doesn't feel that way. Like the mind is just right on it, like white on rice. Like it's just
really
there's no
quick. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
So there's a transition from being asleep to that happens fairly
Yeah.
quickly, but it still takes time. It still takes a moment for it to happen. And I'd suspect that maybe it's more that you're not aware of that happening, that transition, than
Yeah.
it happens instantly. It's like you
Yeah.
sleep through it, so to speak.
Yeah.
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 So so see now also in that state, time is really weird. Time changes altogether. So what can appear to be a long time might just be a few seconds, and what can appear to be
Yeah.
a few seconds can be a long time.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to just watch that play of time and whatever, and it's almost like you may be able to, not intentionally, but you may be able to slow it down to where you can see it actually happening
Okay.
simply because of this conversation and the idea that you can now access it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't just happen coming out of sleep, right? Every time you're lost in something, right? Let's say you get up and you start making breakfast and you just get really involved in making breakfast. There's no self there.
Okay, that was my other question for you. There must be other times throughout the day where
Yes.
it's happening, but I'm just not paying attention to it. That it's
Yeah.
there's no identity there doing
Yep.
something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But when we
Okay,
come back out of that can happen really quickly. The transition from being lost in something where there's no self to being self-conscious again, that can happen
right.
really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, not even noticed. And
Mm.
yeah. So is that when you saying you're right into something? So I was just doodling while I was listening to you talk earlier there. And then I'm wondering, am I there? Is that, or is that just take, you know what I'm trying to say to you? I don't
Yes.
know
Yes. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I was,
And
I'm here, obviously, I'm present, something I'm aware.
okay, so here's a big one, and this is huge. This is a really big one. If you're aware that you're aware, that's that's a great place to be. So you can be aware, but you're not aware that you're aware. And when that's happening, you're involved in what's going on to the point where there is no I. As soon as you become aware that you're aware, you're seeing it from the perspective of an origin, of a person, of a self.
Oh, being aware of being aware is
Yes,
still from an identity.
yes, from an identity. That's right. Now you
Oh,
now you can be aware of that aware. So you can be aware that you're aware of being aware, and then that's from no identity again. So I'm not meaning to confuse you, So at what? So don't worry about that in particular. Just look for if there is a feeling of it being personal,
Okay.
of me, of mine, of I.
Ah,
Yeah,
ah,
that's
ah,
where the
ah,
identity is. Yeah.
ah. So you're saying then if I'm going about my day and I'm just doing something and like I have an idea what you're talking about this if the identity's there. I have an idea what that feels like because it feels like me right now. But I'm, that nervous that tension and stuff. So when I'm going throughout my day and if I notice maybe it might be after the fact that I did something and there was no identity there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the awake.
Yeah.
That is
So
dog shit
what?
normal.
Yeah. What's happening is that all you can say in retrospect, look, using memory, all you can say is that there was a happening,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Whether you're washing the dishes or vacuuming or
Yeah.
writing or doodling or whatever, if you're so involved in that is all there is, there's no identity there.
Now, is that why it's like people it's right in front of your face, but you miss it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it can be. Yeah, no, that's a tricky one. That one. Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's right. You don't see. So what happens with? So you would call that direct experience, right? That is, it's experience that's not corrupted by thought,
Right? Yeah.
right? So the experience is all there is. Now this gets really tricky stuff because you can say if you're lost in suffering, that's different to being lost in doodling. So if you're lost in suffering, it's very much identification. You're reacting to stories about. Whereas when you're doodling, as an example, there is just the pencil and whatever's coming out of that and whatever's appearing. There is just creation.
Hmm.
It's a direct experience.
But I did, now that you're even saying that, as I was doodling, I was criticizing what I was doing. It was so subtle in the back. Oh, should I pick a color pen now? So there still was identity there. Now that you
Yes,
say, yeah,
yes, okay, yep, yep, yep. But for the sake of recognizing when there is identification happening, it will there will be many, many times during the day where you'll just be lost in whatever it is you're doing. There'll be no thoughts about that. Thoughts might be about something else going on, but that's irrelevant because you're not responding to the thoughts. They're just happening as an extra to whatever's going on. Right? So you could be vacuuming and thinking about doing the dishes. Right? Still no identification.
how
Right?
so?
Well, because not only is the vacuuming happening, but thoughts are happening, right? And the content of the thought hasn't grabbed you. It's just
Oh,
it's just going on in the background, kind of
like
thing. So
cars.
you're experiencing the thought, the fact of the thought. You're not lost in the content of the thought. You're just experiencing the fact that there's a thought there, whilst your body does the vacuuming or whatever's going on. It does
And
get very tricky stuff, isn't it?
yeah, and that's not the mechanism in action. That's just thought. or that is the mechanism, but I'm just
Yeah,
not
but
jumping on.
if you then get sucked into the content of the thought, right? I should be doing that, and then
Right.
you have a contraction. Well, you've got identification straight away.
Okay.
So it depends on your relationship to it more than the thing itself.
Yes.
So I don't want you to get carried away with this identification thing. It's a way of, all of this stuff is pointing to something. It's not big deal in itself.
Okay.
So, we're not looking to never be identified. What we're looking to do is when identification turns up, go, ah, isn't that interesting? That's happening. Right. And that's all it's required. We don't need to then go, it shouldn't be happening. We just go, oh, okay. And it'll change. So we can go from the point where people have suffering in their life to a place where life is just full of wonder. It's just wonderful. There it is. The most ordinary thing is amazing when we can see it from that perspective. It's just and there's a whole range of stuff in between. We're never static. We're never in one
Mhm.
place all the time. We're always moving, always changing. Yeah. So we're not at any point looking to say that should not be happening, because that in itself takes us straight into suffering. It shouldn't be here, and there's something wrong, and terrible, terrible stuff happens. So we're looking at whatever turns up. Whatever turns up is absolutely perfect. I won't say it should be there. That's I don't like that one. It is what's there. That's it. Full stop. And a lot of those things are opportunities for us to see what's going on, and then that can take us. And so we want to end up in this place where we just how amazing is this living thing, life stuff. It's just excellent.
So when I get caught up in a certain thought, I'm just going to put it very quickly. I bought a new car, period, end of story.
Mhm.
And the thoughts are playing on me now. You shouldn't have done that. Why now you're paying more money? It's like, well, you have the money, and then there's this battle going on about it because I have strong beliefs around not wasting money on stupid thing, whatever. And then it'll go to, oh my God, what if you can't save more enough money? And then what if that's going to affect your retirement? And it just goes, right? And I
You're
stop because
talking.
it's, I know it's foolish, the thinking, but it doesn't matter. It's
No,
happening.
forget foolish, stupid word foolish. That's
Okay.
a judgment. Okay, that's you whipping yourself. All right. Have you got plans to take it back and get your money back?
No.
So do you imagine you're going to keep it?
Yeah.
All right, end of story. It's done. What's all the other stuff about?
The extra money I'm spending.
It's done. You're not going to undo it, are you?
Mm, no.
It's done.
Unless I change my mind. No, but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
but
feel
you're
like
not at this stage. You're not going to change your mind. Maybe later you
no.
would, but at the moment you're not. So it's done. So what is there to think about?
If I don't, if,
Well,
no, it's just
hang on, I'll give you a whip, and you can whip yourself on the back with it. Right? What about a bit of barbed wire on a stick? That'll really hurt.
I
What?
guess I just worry about money too much.
Yeah. But what? Do you get what I'm saying? It's done. Is there any value in worrying about money? Is there any value in thinking about these other things? No, they just
No.
cause pain, don't they? They just cause
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So until you change your mind or until something happens, there's no point in even thinking about it.
So it'd be like a pink elephant thought, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Except in this case, it's a pink elephant that's standing on your foot or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, here's an interesting one. I'm not saying control yourself, don't do that. What I'm saying is recognize that it's pointless
Yes.
and then it simply won't happen. So when it comes
Yes.
up, and it will come up because that's
Yeah.
your habit, that's the way you've been brought up and that's the way you've developed kind of thing. Your nervous system is
Yeah.
attuned to that. So it will come up, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes up, don't add to it by saying it shouldn't.
Okay.
You go, huh, here it is again. Right. God. And I remember that conversation we had. How useless is it? Okay. And then you let it go until next time it comes up. But if each time it comes up and you don't judge yourself and you don't whip yourself on the back about it, it'll happen less and less until it stops happening. It'll get less intense. It'll
Yeah.
be less,
I've
less frequent. Yeah.
yeah. I've had that with other things. They've just stopped. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I do it purposely to figure this out.
Yeah. Well, see, it's interesting, and it's interesting. I keep saying that, don't I? It is interesting because it's you confirming that that's who you are. I'm a person that worries about money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I need to confirm that regularly. That's identification, isn't it?
At its best. Yeah. Wow.
So do you imagine?
What if I didn't? Wow.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Can you imagine you could ever be a person that doesn't worry about money? But as soon as I say that, I want to caveat. I want to say that doesn't mean that you won't be careful about money
Mm.
that or
Mm.
consider it. But
Mm-hmm.
worrying is a different level, isn't it?
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
So can you imagine that you'd ever get to the point where you don't worry about money, that you'll just be considerate and careful about it?
Yeah, I can imagine that
Yeah, good.
with more of this recognition. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Go to the keg, don't worry about
it
it.
it can happen as an epiphany. It can happen
Yeah.
big time, really
Sure.
quickly, or it can take multiple repeats for it to just get less and less impactful in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely welcome that.
Mm. And here's where identification sneaks in. If you don't worry about money, does that make you less
Responsible?
responsible? Yeah, all right. You said it. Good one. Yeah. Does it make you less responsible if you don't worry about money?
Yeah.
So okay, you've got a story about being a responsible person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big one, that one, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge. That pink elephant's a biggie.
Mm. The elephant in the room. And it's pink.
Yes, responsibility is paramount for me.
Yep. Now, do you get what I was talking to Gail about before? How this is a story that you've collected somewhere about yourself, that you are
Oh
a
yeah.
responsible
Oh yeah.
person. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And can you get that when you feel responsible, you get a certain bodily sensation, and when you feel irresponsible, you get a different bodily sensation.
Oh yeah.
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 One's nice and warm and confirming, and the other one is horrible.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Hmm.
So if we recognize that it's a story over time and with repetition, we won't have the same physical reaction to those stories when they get triggered.
I can believe that.
Yeah. So here's a big one. A feeling is a sensation with stories attached to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the sensation itself contains no information, no
Mm-hmm.
instruction. It is just a physical sensation. It is just something that happens in the body.
Yeah.
And it's the stories that get attached to it that give it meaning.
Yeah. It's constant story sensation though. Like I don't mean it.
Mm.
I mean it's just always there. So I don't know the difference between it not being there.
Mm.
So I don't know what story I'm telling myself because it's always kind of
Yep.
there.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We are open to discovering those
Yeah.
stories, and
Yeah.
so we need to. It's valuable to recognise that the stories that are most impactful on us no longer have a narrative that's active.
Mm.
It's like the
Mm.
nervous system. The nervous system has been trained by the narrative originally, and now we don't
Yeah.
need the narrative. We just go straight to the response to the story. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like it's embedded now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
interesting that they're not actually embedded. I talk about it like it's embedded in the nervous system, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
actually in the brain. We remember it, but we don't
Okay.
remember it as a narrative. We just remember
Okay.
that that's the way we are, is how
Yeah.
it's remembered. Yeah, yeah. So again, what will happen as we go, oh, there's a reaction. Mm. We get a hint of what the story might be about that's associated with that reaction. And then we
Mm.
do that, that starts to change it.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. It's catching that sensation change or something move and then recognizing, oh, there's something's believed again
Mhm.
and brought forward again. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, it just feels like it would have to be, I did experience it this week or with my daughter in a situation where I felt my chest, like the panic started bubbling and I felt it. I knew it was. I'm like, okay, but I still didn't have any, you know, time to do anything with it. I just recognized how fast I went into like a panic state.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty stark, isn't it, when it happens like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it takes like a tsunami to feel it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it feels like it's always a choppy ocean, and then you need like a real fucking storm to make you feel something different than that constant,
Mm.
turning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it feels like that, but it's not necessarily the case. And the can you get that recognition is absolutely huge. That is a really, really big thing, and that's the beginning of that
Yeah.
whole thing changing. Yeah.
Yeah. I do know that. Yeah. And it also helped me to calm down too, because from our last conversation, my mind almost went into probability instead of possibility.
Mm.
I just shot there, and I'm like, ooh, come back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard one to get through to people of that. There's never anything wrong.
It's very
Everything
hard to get that through. Yeah,
everything is okay. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and and the offshoot from that one is that the recognition, the power of recognition is so big that
yeah,
simply seeing it is enough to change it. The moment we try to change it, we have the opposite effect of what we want. We just create resistance and make something out of it that's not there. If we can just go, oh, okay, that's there. That's enough for it to change. And the quickest change will come about from just that response to it. Not ever, I don't want it. It shouldn't be there. Go away.
yeah. It's not quick enough for us to see a change, right? So we think it doesn't do anything because
Yes.
you can't see it. It's too small of a change because we want right now, right?
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
I didn't do that. I don't know how that happened. I'm not shitting you.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
It's like
Things like that
I
happen, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was
just want it so damn fast. We're impatient to realize that that is so good for you to recognize just something so small.
I'll send you the story and the songs I'm working on at the moment because they wouldn't get published for another month or so now. But anyway, I'll
Okay.
send them to you because I made a song about going to sleep and I made another song about waking up. So they're kind of stories about that stuff. Yeah. I'm still working on the song. I can't quite get the song right, but anyway, I will. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe tomorrow, yeah, or soon
Okay.
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah. I wake up with songs in my head. A song will pop in really quick, which I
Okay,
find
great.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what genre of song pops into your head when you wake up?
Usually the 70s.
70s pop song.
Pop? Not pop. I wouldn't call it pop.
Right. So what are you talking about? Dire Straits, Pink Floyd,
Oh,
or what? Yeah.
more
Maybe that's
like the Motown, contemporary rock,
right.
America,
Okay. Yeah. All
soft
right. That,
rock,
yeah.
sometimes country.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so I do have some fun with that.
All right.
And
We'll
then
see.
there's the odd newer song that'll pop in my head if I've had a conversation with somebody about it. It'll pop in my head the first thing in the morning, or yeah. But a song is pretty frequent for me in the morning, and I just kind of laugh. I find it funny.
Mm,
I'd rather it
yeah,
than shitstorm of thought.
yeah, yeah. So, is it a bit of an earworm for you? Does it kind of
Yes,
repeat?
yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. It's like, geez, for fuck's sakes, do I have to hear the song, or what's like? How can I get this out of my head? And I did yesterday. I was like, okay, I'm just going to listen to it.
Mm, yeah, good one.
Yeah. It's such a crappy day here today, and I normally go for a walk.
You're talking about the weather.
Yes, yes, yes. It's raining in like 3 degrees, and the other day
Oh,
we were up
ouch.
to like 18. Like,
Right, right.
oh yeah.
Oh God, I'm suffering 24 degrees at the
Oh,
moment.
you poor guy. But I'm wondering if I should just be quiet and bundle up and go for my walk in the rain
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
instead of all the stories about why I can't. And I
yeah.
love walking.
You might discover something. Umbrellas are good.
Was that sarcasm?
No, no, no. I'm just
That's like
thinking. I,
the obvious, you
I,
idiot.
I play golf under an umbrella sometimes, and I'll go and play rather than stay home.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Like I really look forward to my weekend walks. I really do.
mm,
And in the winter, I would bundle up, but the rain somehow just gets you to. Uh, then I'd have to
mm.
hold the umbrella, and I don't know how windy it is, and I don't want it to fly.
Oh
Huh?
yeah, yeah. If it's
You
windy,
know.
yeah,
Okay, I am. I'm gonna.
good one.
Yep.
I love the rain.
I love listening to it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's been fairly dry here, so it's there's an extra appreciation when it does rain.
Oh, geez. Wow, we are just flooded with it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm.
And this meetings is on recorded, right? It goes on YouTube.
Yes, this one does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Perfect.
if you ever want to talk about something you don't want on YouTube, just let me know and I can pause it. That's no
Oh yeah. Well, the
worries.
next time I talk about my dad, I'll make sure you don't put it out there.
Okay.
I'm joking. He
Yeah.
wouldn't watch it anyway. Ah, not one member of my family would find this stuff anywhere. They're so far up their ass with life, caught in the rapture of identity and stories and media and conspiracies.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? That's a large part of the world for sure.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. How even Facebook, or if you look at those things on a phone, how fast it can catch you. It caught me. I can keep watching them because some of them they're so entertaining
Mm.
and make you laugh. But you could be gone for hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hours. That's
Some
scary.
people are. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what'd you do today? Oh, I just scrolled on my phone. I'm not judging anybody, but just to look back at it, it's no difference from me watching Netflix,
Mm.
right? But then again, what else is there to do in life? What's meaningful? You have to be doing something meaningful all the time, or productive, responsible. Ha!
Oh, look, yeah, I breathe all day. That's pretty meaningful, very responsible.
You don't breathe. What do you want from me? I'm breathing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Why is that so funny? I only laugh this much about farts. Oh, when is this going to stop? This is silly. I'm breathing. What else do you want? Oh, it's hurting my back. Oh,
Yeah, there's an interesting one that goes like, we have to have purpose in life. We have to have meaning in life. And when you recognize that purpose and meaning are all made up
yeah.
stuff, and everybody has their own, meaning and whatever, then it doesn't become meaningless. It it is that the meaning in the really obvious normal things becomes quite apparent. That
Oh,
so if you were to
oh,
ask me what was meaningful about today, I couldn't tell you, but it was all meaningful. And the most mundane things, the most common things, are pretty wondrous when you experience them directly.
without stories.
Yeah,
So basically, when I'm saying I find things meaningful, or I had a purposeful or a productive day, that's basically running off my beliefs, my
yeah,
stories, what I
yeah,
think is productive and meaningful,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. And
bullshit.
and the meaning that you're giving it is made
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
It's not inherent in it.
No, no, not at all. Me cleaning the floor doesn't mean anything except to me and
Mm,
what I think
yeah,
and what I want, my
mm,
values and what I feel I need around to make my life, my living comfortable, which
mm,
is still a story, which is still, I see is still a story.
yeah, yeah. But if you get lost in the happening of floor cleaning, that's all encompassing. That is such a meaningful thing in the act of doing it, whatever the doing it itself, not about it. It's so the old idea of meaning is always about it, but the thing itself is absolutely full of meaning. So what's involved in cleaning the floor? You know, you're washing it, you're sweeping it, you're rubbing it, you're doing whatever you're doing with it, right? That act of that is very meaningful. It doesn't make headlines. You can't write about it,
Right. But
but
it's only
but it
meaningful to me.
it's the action involved, the happening itself, where the meaningfulness is. There's not meaning in it. It's wrong to say it has meaning, but to say it's meaningful is a kind of a slightly different emphasis
Oh,
on
really?
it. You know? Yeah.
Okay.
So if you so focus on the full part of it. It's meaning full. It's full. It's
Huh.
yeah. But don't worry about looking for it in your head.
You saw that, eh?
Just just watch what happens next time you're doing it. The happening of it.
Well, I do put a lot of fullness into it and
Yeah.
enjoyment. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
doing it.
Yep. And that's meaningful. It's that love that's part of it, and that enjoyment, that um, connection to it, the attachment to it, the involvement in it. That's the best word. That's where the meaningfulness is.
But what if that's coming from a place where, okay, I'm doing it because
No,
I
no,
really,
no. Straight away, as soon as you say the word because, you're off in storyland about it. There's no meaning
what
in
if
that.
I'm
That's
what if I'm doing it for a reason though?
the same thing. Yeah, that's not the reason. And now, are you doing it for a reason? Right? If you were to step back and go, I did that, and therefore I did it for that reason because I wanted to get it clean, or whatever. Right? That's just about it. That's got nothing to do with the happening itself.
Right. Oh, oh.
The happening itself was very meaningful. The story about it is made up meaning. It's got nothing to do with it, really. And
Can
of
I
course,
ask
there
you
may be stories that
this?
you're a good person because you do that. So there could also be identification in it.
Yeah, I feel there is because I need it to be clean. I need because it keeps me comfortable. I like a clean home. It makes me feel okay.
Hmm. So there's two aspects to this. This is a good one. There is this story you've got about yourself and needing a clean home,
Hmm.
and then there is the experience of being in a clean home or cleaning a home, right? Which is the experience of it, which is totally different to the story about Jenny being a person that needs a clean home.
So I just enjoy the experience of it. I don't need to
Yeah,
put the story. Oh,
you don't
which
need
I
the
do.
story
I
because
don't need the story.
that's right, exactly. It's your personality. You of course you're going to do it
I'm
because
not.
that's the way it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Because I just had a thought. If oh my God, what happens if I don't have the story anymore and I turn into this slob with mess everywhere and cockroaches and
Never happen.
stink?
Never happen.
Yeah, I can't see it happening. It's
No,
like
it
me all
won't.
of a sudden liking shrimp. I won't.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, I
So we
love
don't.
the
Yeah. our personality doesn't change with this waking up stuff. The
Yeah,
reason why we do it, that's different. But
that's different.
the doing will still happen.
The
Mm,
functioning, yes. I understood the functioning and like the what you need to live will still be there. I understand that, but I didn't put that with other things that really are not safety driven survival.
mm,
The small things that really day to day make you happy. For me, it's
yeah,
that.
yeah,
The experience of a clean home and to the smell and just it's like sitting into a soft bed. It's so
yeah.
nice.
There you go.
That's how
Yeah,
comfortable it is for me.
yeah. And when you said, "Oh,"
Oh, it's just
I felt it. Yeah,
can't wait
beautiful.
to be here more. It's so nice, you know? So
Oh,
that's just a liking. That has nothing to
yeah,
do with, I love that. I'm just breathing, damn it.
yeah. Good on you. Enjoy every breath, every breath. And how amazing is it that you can do it without even thinking about it? Look, yeah.
Yeah,
Chest,
yeah.
chest goes out and in all by itself, and oh, amazing. Yeah.
Ah,
All right. Well, it's nearly midnight here, so I'm going to go to bed.
oh, okay. Well, I look forward to watching this later for sure. Some
Okay.
good stuff.
Good one. Yeah, I
Good
won't
stuff.
send it till tomorrow, but yeah. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Vince.
See you, Gail. See you, Dom.